and welcome to Carolina Insider. I'm Siobhan Crawford, coming to you today from Sumter, South Carolina. Thank you for joining us. Our Carolina Insider team is spread out across the country because of the COVID-19 pandemic, but we'll continue to bring you shows from our homes for the rest of this semester. Summer classes are canceled for most colleges and universities around the country. This means that many internship programs are coming to a screeching halt. In spite of this, the University of South Carolina still has options that will allow for students to network and communicate with professionals. The School of Journalism and Mass Communications has a Facebook Connect group. This allows for students to stay updated on opportunities that are available on campus and in the communication industry. This page includes content such as in-house internship opportunities, as well as state campus and local news updates and relief funding for students. In the midst of this pandemic, some good news for a few of USC's academic programs. The Darla Moore School of Business ranks in the top 20 nationally in the respective departmental categories, and rank in the top 10 in U.S. News and World Report's Best Graduate Schools list. The business school ranks first in the MBA program for the 7th straight year. Speaking of business, changes to South Carolina's stay-at-home orders are beginning to loosen up. On April 20th, Governor Henry McMaster announced plans to slowly reopen a range of retail businesses as long as social distancing rules stay in place. The governor also announced some beaches can open, but only if local officials support it. Many beaches are already open in Florida and North Carolina. Some states, like Texas, are reopening parks and other public spaces with limited hours and some strict rules. On the Florida beaches, for example, people are allowed to run, walk, and swim, but not to sunbathe. No chairs, towels, or coolers are allowed either. While some retail stores are starting to open up across the Southeast, others remain closed. As Carolina Insider's J.D. Norris explains, many local stores have been trying creative ways to stay afloat.
Normally, in the design world, we get together with clients one-on-one.
Colleen Norris, the founder and owner of Nesting Place Interiors, who has transformed her once small business into one of the top interior design companies in all of North Florida. COVID-19 has demanded smaller businesses just like hers to restructure their daily work schedules and overall work regimens.
It's definitely been challenging because everything that we do is so visual, and I'm a tactile person, so I like to meet typically face-to-face, one-on-one, but it's been very, very difficult to do that under these circumstances. When we do meet, it's minimal, and it's 6 feet apart, social distancing, and it's one-on-one only. We always wear masks. We're always using hand sanitizer, and we're staying apart. These times with the coronavirus, we felt that with the frontline workers not having enough masks to protect themselves, we decided to send our leftover fabric to my seamstress, and she made these incredible masks for nurses and doctors to wear.
Nesting Place Interiors has picked up right where they left off, while also giving back to the community and for the greater good. For Carolina Insider, I'm J.D. Norris in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida.
Many medical workers across America are grateful for the kindness and support they're being shown, while trying to stay healthy at home and on the job. 47-year-old Marilyn Horvath is a nurse practitioner in South Florida. Along with other health professionals, she's had to create a new normal for herself so she can avoid catching COVID-19. Every day she shows up to work knowing her life could be at risk. Despite her commitment, she says sometimes members of her own community treat her poorly.
For example, if I go to the gas station or to the store, people look at me funny or think that I'm carrying the disease because I'm coming from the hospital. They see my lab coat in the car and they assume that I'm a carrier.
And when she gets home, her daily routines change. She immediately washes those scrubs before even coming into the house and is constantly cleaning and organizing to keep her family safe from the germs. Even though the pandemic has resulted in people being encouraged to stay apart, it has most certainly been something that brings pet lovers closer to animals in the Midlands. Here with that in the Soda City scene is Anya Brantley. Anya?
Thanks, Siobhan. Because of the coronavirus pandemic and shelter-in-place orders, shelters across the nation have been asking people to foster and adopt animals. Numbers in shelters rose around 70% since the beginning of the pandemic, according to the ASPCA. Not that they aren't able to leave their homes, people are finding comfort and companionship with dogs and cats. But while shelters are welcoming the generosity, they're worried about an influx of animals back at shelters after the pandemic subsides and people return to their normal. If you're interested in fostering or even adopting a pet, check the website of your local shelter or attend online adoption events. Shelters recommend donations of pet food and other pet needs if you are unable to foster or adopt a pet. Back to you, Siobhan.
That's it for today's edition of Carolina Insider, a student production usually inside the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications, but today from Sumter, South Carolina. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.